I'm super excited to talk about this, especially because Nat has no idea
about it at all.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this little influencer named
Alix Earle.
She's launching a skincare line that is primarily anti-acne, which we'll get to that in a second. It's difficult to tell people that they should be confident in their skin with their acne while trying to sell them something that is to clear up their acne. I am crazy about regulatory. It is very clearly an anti-acne line.
I'm noticing.
Yeah, I'm sure as you're reading through the website, you're like, ooh.
And is that legal to do? Or is
Yeah, because they're
still not saying
it's just cleared acne.
It's just results.
Yeah.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beauty by the Beaker. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Sadie.
And we are two cosmetic chemists.
And this is the place where science gets a hot new makeover. We realized we never say that we're cosmetic chemists in like any episode.
Yeah.
So that was our test run for our new intro.
Tell us what you think. Yeah, we definitely need to incorporate
our credentials.
Yeah. A disclaimer of some credibility.
Yeah, we're not just two random gals, which would be fine.
It would be fine. Two random gals are allowed to have a podcast.
Literally.
But
do whatever you want, gals.
We do it. But we're two random cosmetic chemist gals.
Yes.
With years of combined experience.
Several.
10-ish.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. 10 years of combined experience.
Our combined experience would be in elementary school.
Oh my God, like a fifth grader?
I don't know. I
don't care how old kids are. Yeah.
I don't either. It's not my business.
No, it's not. Well, today we are
going to do a little mini episode.
So Nat did a mini solo episode a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was incredible, great, amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I loved it.
We just thought, what would make this episode better? What's the only thing that could make a mini episode better? Not being solo.
Real Sadie.
Real Sadie.
Stick figure me.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's still over there, though.
She is, yeah.
She's got one eye out.
She got to keep an eye out for Selena.
Always.
Yeah, so we're going to test run these mini episodes. It just kind of allows us to talk about things that are a little bit more relevant in the moment.
Yeah.
Because our normal episodes, we have to research a lot of them. It usually takes several weeks worth of research, so we really have to plan ahead.
Yeah.
Whereas with the mini episodes, we can just kind of hop on here and chat with you guys.
When we're talking about something like Red 40 or hinting at next week, PDRN? Question mark? When we're talking about these like bigger topics, we want to make sure that we are able to put in the time to really research, and that involves actually reading scientific papers, which that's a lot.
And not only reading the papers, but also filtering out which papers are worth reading, which takes arguably more time.
My husband is in a band, and he had a show this week on Tuesday. As I was in the audience at this metal show reading the FDA's website, I was approached by someone, and they said, "How's work going?" And I said, oh, work? I'm in the pit reading the FDA site.
And the band member looks at you and he says, "Who's that girl reading?
Who is that? Oh, she really cares about regulation.
Ooh, she's a cutie." You're bringing those Wattpad fanfics to life.
It's just me on my phone.
Reading about the FDA monographs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're hoping that these episodes...
We're just hoping that you guys enjoy them. Let us know what you think.
Yes. We are very open to feedback.
Yeah. If you hate it, let us know.
We'll stop.
Seriously. Unless it's less work.
That's true.
Then
maybe we'll just delete the podcast forever.
Maybe we should. Don't tempt us.
If you want us to keep the podcast, comment and say, "Don't delete this podcast forever, please."
Please, I beg. Yeah, say something really nice.
Yeah. And also, we can put out longer and more complex and detailed content as soon as this podcast starts to generate even $1 of revenue. So the way that you guys can help, it's really simple. It's liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends, engaging with us. But also, if you are a sponsor out there listening, emailing us at info@beautyxspeaker.com.
Yeah, let us know. Reach out.
And if everybody Venmo'd us $1, Just kidding. Okay, so today, for today's topic, I'm super excited to talk about this, especially because Nat has no idea
about it at all.
Is it Reale?
Reale.
Real.
Realeactives.com. For some context, there's this influencer. She's extremely popular.
Have you heard of her?
I don't know if you've ever heard of this little influencer named
Alix Earle. No, she's extremely popular and she rose to fame. I feel like primarily because one, her content was not necessarily relatable, but she shared all of her life because she's like white, rich. But the way that she filmed her content felt very authentic. A lot of it also centers around her partying. And so she goes to a lot of parties. I think she got popular when she was in college and she would film like Get Ready With Me's and stuff going to college parties. And her content has kind of shifted towards like,
I think still partying because I'm not like an active viewer of hers.
Yeah,
I don't follow her or anything.
Don't either. Actually.
I think she still does partying, but it's like, oh, I'm going to
an Oscars after party or, you know.
Yeah.
these like higher end.
The big dog parties.
The parties where the big dogs live. Yeah. Like Leonardo DiCaprio's at the party she's going to. She's hanging out with Tom Brady in Ibiza.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, good for her.
It's that good. I don't think I'd want to be with Tom Brady in Ibiza. Is that rude?
No, you're allowed to have that opinion. Tom Brady's treat is avocado ice cream, so I want to stay far away from him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so another big part of her content was her journey with acne. She was very open about having severe cystic acne, and
a lot of her videos helped
a lot of people because I feel like seeing somebody who is an influencer struggle with something like that and being so open and honest about it is really refreshing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people try to hide it or cover it up, and she was pretty honest about it.
Right. Especially in the days of like Facetune.
Yes. Like it would have been so easy for her to just sweep it under the rug or put filters over it, but she was very authentic about her journey. She's been on multiple rounds of Accutane. I'm sure she's done like in-office treatments and stuff like that to kind of help clear up her acne.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the basis for her project, I guess, that she's working on. So I guess she did launch on March 31st because by the time this episode comes out, her brand will have launched. Her new skincare line called Reale Actives. It's spelled Reale. It's an anagram of her last name, Earle. So she started off with a rollout, which I actually think her marketing was super smart. She sent a bunch of different influencers like a puzzle piece, and then they had to go and they had this huge wall somewhere and they went and put their like puzzle piece on the wall. And then it ended up being like let me see, actually. Let me fact check myself.
Show me the wall.
Show it to me. Okay, so it was in New York City, and the wall says, "We're about to bear it all. A big secret is breaking out, one puzzle piece at a time. Be the first to solve it." And then like a Twitter handle that said, "WTF is Alix doing?" So then she sent the puzzle pieces to a bunch of different influencers, and all of them were posting about it because I think it was just like a no context, like
just a puzzle
piece in like a package. And so then all of these influencers posted about it and then went and put their puzzle pieces on the wall. And then the wall reveal is a picture of her and it says Reale Actives underneath it. That's what it looks like. The completed puzzle piece. So
Okay.
I think the marketing is really interesting. I think she did a good job at drumming up hype for it.
Yeah.
I think it was fun and creative. I think it's very difficult to have an innovative launch, or at least a lot of people just don't want to do the work to try and make it innovative. So
Yeah.
I think that was cool.
Yeah. Especially one that involves like actual tangible items.
Yeah.
Like I think that's currently not very common.
Yeah. Making it kind of an interactive thing.
seems fun.
So the front page of her website says it's a new standard for acne-prone skin, built for breakouts, made for everyone. And from what I can gather, I think her idea is that she wants to encourage people to be confident enough to show their bare skin. Hence, like the photos of her naked on her website, which is fine. Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but she also doesn't have acne in any of her promo pics. So I feel like it is a little bit difficult for somebody who has clear skin to be telling other people to feel confident in skin with acne.
Yeah.
And I am saying that as somebody who has dealt with very severe acne, and she has too. And so I think when you achieve clear skin, it's fine to tell people like, yes, you should be confident, but also, were you doing that while you had acne? Like, I didn't feel confident.
Yeah. I also, looking at this picture,
The front page
photo, it is clear that they did like a no editing look on her.
Yeah.
Which I think also is reinforcing that point that you were making. Is just like, it's hard to get behind the idea that she's promoting bare skin when, I mean, you can see a couple pores.
But for the most part, it's very clear.
Yeah. Like if bare was the goal, I think we could have done a little more of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I also think what I've kind of been trying to say is that she's launching a skincare line that is primarily anti-acne, which we'll get to that in a second. It's difficult to tell people that they should be confident in their skin with their acne while trying to sell them something that is to clear up their acne.
Yeah.
It feels like those two messages don't necessarily coincide. I think most people's goal is to clear up their acne.
Yes.
If they have it, acne sucks. It's not fun to deal with. And so, I don't know. It's like, it's fine that that's your messaging, but I just don't feel like it really goes hand in hand with you also saying like, here are all the products that you need to buy in order to get rid of your acne. But like, be confident in it.
Be
But, like, get rid of
confident.
it.
I don't know. I also have kind of an issue with stuff like this just because, be confident in it, change it. And also I'm making a skincare routine post changing my own skin.
Yeah.
You're launching products with now clear skin. I don't know. I understand you can't like make a product and use it on yourself and get efficacious results and then launch it. Like that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
And I also think like as someone who again has had very severe acne and has gone on Accutane,
there are things that I use in my routine that are anti-acne to help maintain my result.
but I fully understand the reason my skin is clear is because of Accutane.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say that too. That's not at all the focus of this. Is like, I also get probably thousands of dollars worth of laser treatments.
Yeah.
And,
I also believe she's on spironolactone because I think she went on multiple rounds of Accutane, and from what I understand, it didn't work for her, which is fine. It doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
And now she's on spironolactone, which is an anti-acne medication. That paired with expensive in-office treatments, like you were saying, like, of course that would clear up someone's acne.
I think it's just the built for breakouts, made for everyone. And then having her perfect face.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like, it's not your skincare that's giving you this result.
No.
So,
No. The thing that really bugs me, so for some context, I am crazy about regulatory. It really matters to me the claims that companies are making. Like that, I don't know why it strikes me so deep, but I obsess over claims that companies are making.
Well, it is important.
It is important. So acne, if you don't know, anti-acne products are regulated by the FDA. We've talked about this before, but there's a difference between cosmetics and drugs. So cosmetics are things that can enhance or beautify your appearance. Drugs are things that change the structure or function of your body.
I'm noticing.
Yeah, I'm sure as you're reading through the website, you're like, ooh. So if you have a product that changes the structure or function of your body, like acne, for example, that is regulated underneath the FDA. There are certain ingredients that you can use, certain wording you have to use, certain percentages, things like that. That's what like an OTC product is. So like I mentioned, acne is one of those things. And people get really loosey-goosey when it comes to acne claims. And that I think is my biggest gripe with this brand. It is very clearly an anti-acne line, but none of these products are OTC. So seriously. Okay, so the 4 products that she is launching at the beginning actually look like good products. I've read the ingredient list. That's all we have to go off of right now. I think they look solid. So she has the GoDeep 8% Mandelic Acid Serum. It retails for $39. The description is that it's a high-impact super serum for acne-prone skin that seriously clarifies, resurfaces, and refines texture, revealing a smooth, glowy complexion. That is technically allowed under the monograph because companies can change the wording to kind of get around the FDA rules. So that specifically...
Mandelic acid is not an OTC ingredient.
It is not an OTC ingredient.
So you can't say acne,
Yep.
but you can say clear skin.
Yes. But you can't say like clears up acne, but you could say reduces the appearance of blemishes. Or you can say like suitable for blemish prone skin, but you cannot say targets or treats acne.
Yeah.
So that's fine. What they're saying in the description is fine. But then on their website, in different areas of the website, they use quotes from Alix to imply that this is an anti-acne line. One of the quotes is she says, I've dealt with cystic acne my whole life, and I've learned that sticking to my routine and being gentle with my skin gives me real results. That implies that her skincare routine that she's using these products for cleared up her cystic acne. It's technically allowed.
Also, this title before that quote, breaking out free.
Yes. So you're free of breakouts.
But that's not what she's saying. She's breaking out. It definitely reads, especially because half the word is covered, as breakout free. But it doesn't say that. It says breaking out free.
I see what you're saying, yes.
And then she talks about how she's dealt with cystic acne.
Yeah.
Using those words in that order specifically, it's obviously supposed to imply that it's acne related.
Right.
But there's a very strong argument that it could be not at all. I think what she's actually communicating here is that she is almost more like the freedom of trying to find solutions and just like sticking to a routine.
Yeah.
Free from the stress.
Yes.
Not free from acne. The pairing of these two things, breaking out free and then talking about acne, makes it sound like the skincare was what freed her from breakouts.
Yes.
But what she's actually saying is that it's sticking to a routine, not the skincare.
Yeah. So it's almost like she is getting around that rule by saying, I'm just sticking to my routine. So if the FDA ever tried to come after her, they wouldn't be able to necessarily, because she is just saying she's sticking to a routine. But yes.
She's not saying anything about what her routine actually is, and she never says that her routine has anything to do with these products.
Right.
She just says that sticking to a routine is what?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's implied. And I think that's my biggest gripe with the brand is like they are pretty careful to not say anything that specifically would get them in trouble with the FDA. Like there are brands I have seen that make claims about like this product will clear your acne. This product targets acne. Blatant claims that are illegal. They're not doing that here.
No, they're not.
They're getting away with it because there are so many implications.
Yeah.
Of course, the consumer is going to assume that the routine she's sticking to is this skincare, which again that's just how the skincare world works. She's not the first person to do this. Of course, it happens all the time.
Yeah, and at least she's doing it legally because like you said, some people just break the law.
Yeah, I've seen some egregious claims. But yeah, she even does the same thing down here. So there's a before and after picture with her skin before and after. She says, when I start to see anything popping up, I stay calm, trust the process, and stick to my routine. So her saying like my routine implies that she's using these products to help with her acne, especially pairing it with a before and after photo. But they never say that. So it's okay. Like it's not an illegal claim.
Yeah, she's not saying like, I grab my go-to GoDeep serum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her routine could very well, probably does include spa treatments, medical treatments, med spa treatments even.
Oh, I'm sure. And like, if I had the money, I'd be doing that too.
Yeah.
But I also probably wouldn't come out with a skincare line and pretend like I wasn't. Oop. Okay, another thing that I noticed. So on the Mandelic Acid serum, this is going to end up being the same length as a regular episode.
I'll stop talking so much. I'm making so many comments.
No, it's fine. It's your first time seeing it, so.
That's true.
So if you look at the Mandelic Acid serum, first and foremost, this bottle would piss me off so bad.
I was going to say the first thing that I noticed is really packaging heavy.
Super packaging heavy.
Like-
This is a dropper bottle. Yes. So she unscrews it. Let me show you this video. Well, I guess you can go look too. She unscrews it and then it's like a squeeze. You just squeeze the whole thing.
No,
So unnecessary.
Yeah, that was my very first thought looking at the products was there's a lot of empty space. That's a
Yes.
double-walled container.
100%. And like the packaging is cute.
It's very cute.
It's necessarily
It would look really good on a countertop for sure.
It would, yes.
And sometimes that is the criteria.
Yeah. It
So-
truly is. And like I said, the ingredient list of this product looks great. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly, because there are things that can clear up acne that are not FDA approved.
Right.
Man, I've heard Mandelic Acid is great for clearing up acne.
Yeah.
The company just can't say that.
Yes.
you're not allowed to make those claims.
Right.
But like, if people see results from them, that's one thing. If people post reviews about how it cleared up their acne, like, that's something different than a company making those claims.
Yes.
So one thing that I thought was interesting was that they have on here, I won't say she because she's really just the face of this brand.
Yeah.
But the brand they did like an 8-week study on this Mandelic Acid serum. After 4 weeks, it says 96% agreed that it felt gentle even if they had sensitive skin. Interestingly enough, on the 6 weeks, it says 89% agreed the serum delivered visible results. What do you imply from that?
It would definitely be acne.
Yeah.
And is that legal to do? Or is
because they're
still not saying
it's just cleared acne.
It's just results.
Yeah. But of course, you're looking at this with all of the marketing surrounding this. Of course, you are going to make the connection that they're talking about. In 6 weeks, 90% of the people agreed that it cleared up their acne. That's what the implication really is.
Yes. Reading between the lines.
Yeah. But again, like, it's not illegal to do that. You can do that. I'm not necessarily trying to like dog on them for that.
It's also very possible that really did happen. You know, like, it's very possible that they did do this study and people's acne did get better.
Yeah.
It is a hard one. Because because there's not a lot of like incentive for the FDA to pass new acne drugs and stuff. It is tricky because it's like new companies do need to be able to like innovate. And if something is working and clearing acne, it's a lot easier to dance around the FDA than it is to get a new drug passed.
100%. And like I said, obviously we have to give a modicum of credit that it's not blatant, but like, I don't know, it's just implied everywhere on the website.
Yeah.
She apparently developed this with a celebrity dermatologist, and there's a quote from the dermatologist right underneath the serum. She says, "I treat acne powerfully and purposefully, yet with balance and kindness. Clinically effective formula shouldn't work against the skin. They should strengthen it." Another implication of the fact that it's anti-acne. Anyway, I could harp on that for days, but I feel like that paired with the fact that she has been on Accutane several times is just kind of difficult for me, I guess. Okay, so that was just the first product. She also has a makeup melting balm, cleanser with...
I'm really onto makeup melting balms now, oil cleansers, just saying.
Really?
I'm loving them.
Yeah, I need to add one into my routine.
I like it.
Because I think they're great. And this one looks totally fine.
I need a new one, so if anyone has any recommendations of a makeup cleansing balm,
drop them in the comments.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get this one because it is $30, and
it's pretty expensive for a cleansing balm.
I'll do coconut oil first.
Seriously. They also have the Pore Power Exfoliating LHA and BHA Gel Cleanser and a barrier boosting moisturizer for $36. That's kind of expensive for a moisturizer.
Yeah, especially because I would guess that this is 1.7 ounces. Oh, I was right.
Sure it is, yeah. Oh, you know your stuff.
I don't know why you can tell. Looking at this, that is a 1.7 ounce container. 50 mil?
1,000%. Yep.
It's a double-walled 50 mil. It probably is this big on your shelf.
It's probably huge, yes. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one had a little bit of controversy because it has shea butter relatively high. I think it's like maybe 7, like the 7th ingredient. And a lot of people believe that shea butter is comedogenic. The thing about comedogenicity that you all need to remember is that the overall formulation is what determines whether a product is comedogenic or not an individual ingredient.
Yeah, because once it's in a formula, those individual things are bound to other things.
Yes.
So they behave differently at that point.
Yeah, the ingredient interaction is what actually determines comedogenicity. The company does make non-comedogenic and non-acnogenic claims on all of their products. I assume they did those studies because in order to put those claims on, you have to have some sort of backing for that you did like a comedogenicity study.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it on the website, but I also don't know if it's standard to like publish the results of that.
Yeah. Companies are legally not allowed to lie about that.
Yeah.
If it's clinically tested, there does have to be some amount of testing that was clinically done.
Exactly.
So
theoretically, they did test to make sure that it did not clog pores or cause acne.
Yeah. I have to do a whole episode on comedogenicity testing.
Oh, yeah. I have the whole thing ready.
Oh.
I have an entire script for it already.
Well, easy peas. Let's get that going.
Seriously. Okay, so I'm just kind of reading through We have actually so many episodes. Another episode I really want to do is about pregnancy safe skincare.
Oh, yeah.
Because it is the Wild West.
It's, not good. When in the history of ever are they going to run studies on a pregnant woman?
They will not. That's the whole problem.
Yeah, so it's all assumed.
It's an ethical breach. Okay. Anyway, so some of my final thoughts on this, we've kind of gone through the whole thing. Like I mentioned, this is someone who's been on Accutane and is currently on spironolactone. Am I actually supposed to believe as a consumer that an 8% Mandelic Acid serum was the silver bullet to clearing your cystic acne? I just don't know if I believe that these products alone did that. Whatever. Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe it's real, but
maybe
I struggle to believe that that's the truth. I also know that there are a lot of people online saying that this is very clearly a cash grab.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that purely because I'm going to bring this up time and time again, but like as someone who knows how debilitating acne is,
it becomes your whole life.
It becomes your entire life. And I would never want other people to go through what I went through with my severe acne. And so I believe that Alix is actually very passionate about acne and sharing her acne journey and her experience, which I think is really cool and really refreshing. And I think she can want to make a smart business move because also can we stop getting after women for being ambitious and creating businesses? Like, even if it is a total cash grab, like whatever, she has the audience for it. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. You don't have to purchase it.
It's a business move that makes sense.
Yes.
Given her history and her content and her brand and everything.
Exactly. And just the direction that she's moving. She's kind of going from being just an influencer to being a businesswoman. And I don't want to begrudge her for that.
Yeah.
It's clear that I think the products that she's developed will probably work well for a lot of people. And I think they definitely could clear up skin. Again, my biggest gripe is just the language around it and the lack of transparency from this brand specifically about the fact that she's been on Accutane and other treatments. Because if you didn't know anything about her history, you would assume that these products are what cleared up her severe acne.
Yeah. I think also with the name being Reale Actives and having the key ingredients be listing like a bunch of active ingredients and then showing results from it, when you're actually reading the real words that they're saying, at the root of it is more about being a consistent and non-comedogenic thing that you can rely on day to day.
Yep.
I'm guessing that if she actually does use the products, she uses them in combination with treatments, like we said. I think just having the word actives does imply that it's treating something.
Yeah.
But then the actual marketing is just a maintenance thing.
Yep.
A lot of it is about like, these are the products that I use in my day-to-day routine. And I feel like at least my experience with like an acne journey, there are products like that.
Yeah.
But they're not the same types of products that are like usually clearing up cystic acne.
Yeah. Like
So
the products that I use now to maintain my results from Accutane are drastically different from the other products I used to use. Like, and I only use anti-acne products as maintenance.
yeah.
They're not really clearing up anything because there's like nothing to clear up because it's already clear. So I'm not going to make any claims necessarily about like how well it'll work. Or not, because again, no one's tried it yet. So that makes it hard too.
I mean, we talked about this at the acne episode. A lot of acne comes from things that are not topical.
Yeah.
But the other ingredients can matter, you know, like acne can happen from clogged pores and certain ingredients can clog pores. But a lot of that, like you said, is formulation dependent and personal skin dependent because it's all about your microbiome, really. And everyone's is different.
Yeah. So I think these products will work great for some people and I think they won't work at all for other people. And that's how every single product is. I will say, last and final thought, I'm not surprised that she came out with a skincare line. I'm a little bit surprised that she chose an anti-acne line given the fact that she is known for like her party girl lifestyle. I feel like it would have made way more sense for her to do like a
like hangover.
Like hangover skincare or like night of like when you're drunk and you don't want to take off your makeup, like things to like really simplify your routine.
Yeah.
I think that would have made more sense for her brand.
Yeah.
And it would have been a much more interesting position than anti-acne, because I just think like it's kind of already been done before. Like there are so many Mandelic Acid serums on the market already. It's not super unique, but I think centering it around her party girl lifestyle would have actually been like a really unique take.
She could have done like the exact same products.
Yeah.
Just with
marketed differently.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think it would have worked a lot better. So anyway, I'm excited to see how these go. I'm excited to see like what people's results are when reviews start coming in, and kind of see how her brand evolves. I think she's a very interesting businesswoman to look at and look out for. So I'm excited to see where she goes. But just some things to keep in mind when you are looking at products. Keep in mind the claims that they're making, and just take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wish Alix the best of luck.
Me too. Yeah. And who knows, like, I don't know, maybe eventually we'll try these out and let you guys know.
Yeah. The packaging is cute. Definitely plastic heavy, but other than that.
Also, last thing, can we stop putting the skincare applicator directly on our skin? That's all.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was our little deep dive into Reale Actives and kind of our thoughts about the brand.
Yeah. Let us know if you guys have any thoughts, or if you have joined the wait list to try the products. Maybe you've already tried them by now.
Yeah, let us know if you got them.
If you were early on. Yeah,
I think it launches on the 31st. So theoretically, maybe they've shipped to people that have purchased them.
Well, then if you bought them and you're waiting for them, let us know.
Yes.
Or if you're planning on it.
Just want to keep us updated.
Yeah. Or if you just want to say hi. We love it
too.
And hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for looking into this. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's great to just bring a little bit more awareness to marketing in general. And as a consumer, being able to look at things for what they are.
Yeah.
And recognize this product might help my acne, because that's clearly what they're trying to tell me.
Yeah.
But the data does not at this time show, at least to the FDA, that it will.
Yep.
But again, doesn't mean it won't.
You never know.
Thanks so much.
Of course. If you guys want more of us, go check out our website, beautyxbeaker.com. Check us out on all our socials at beautyxbeaker. My personal Instagram is SadieBXB.
I'm not BXB.
And if you have anything you want to let us know, you can send us an email. It's info@beautyxbeaker.com.
It is.
And please like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all of the things. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.